Solace for the hurting, solace for the hurting, solace for the hurting. My God is solace for the hurting.
Hello, you're welcome to Solace for the Hurting, the program that blesses lives, the program that is out to reach out to you to tell you that God is faithful in the midst of it all. So where are your family members who have come again with another mind-blowing testimony of God's faithfulness to you and to me? So we have a special guest with us in the studio, but before we introduce her, I would like us to go for a commercial break. So the moment we come back, we're going to take that story. So don't go nowhere. Just tell everyone that Solace for the Hurting is here. So child of God, God is about to do something wonderful in your life. So get ready for us. Don't touch the dial. We'll soon be back.
Abuja to Port Harcourt,
Lagos to Bonny, you are just 2 air away.
whatever the mission, whatever the operation, stay connected with 2 Air 2-way walkie-talkie radio system for all covert operations in security, vigilante service, engineering, logistics, transportation, construction, mining, oil and gas, and many more. 2 Air radio system requires no repeater to operate, covers the 774 local government areas in Nigeria, no mast installations, GPS tracking enabled with dispatcher system to view all users with end-to-end encrypted and secured system, supports one-to-one or one-to-many radio, disable and stun kill stolen radio, raises alarm on danger zone, and many more.
Contact our head office located at Family Love 97.7 FM building, 34 Old Aba Road, Port Harcourt. For inquiries, please call or text 0803 203 4026 or 0803 203 8246. 2 Air, any distance, anywhere.
Everybody stand up and see. We are matter what the eyes can see. From the east to the west to the north to the south. Entertainment for the whole family. Hey, next we bring you drama. Next and lifestyle. Next we show you movies. And series. Next documentary. Next event. Next and fashion and music. Next AMNet, African Movie Net, entertainment for the whole family.
You're welcome back to Solace for the Hurting. Today we have another mind-blowing testimony, overwhelming grace of God at work. So I have my friend and my sister here to share her testimony. So, and you wouldn't want to miss it because it will be engaging and intriguing. You see how God takes us through paths in life and then brings us to a beautiful, beautiful place, a wealthy place. So I can assure you God is said to do something. So I have with me Mrs. Solace, Onyebuchi Udeh, and she's here to share her testimony. Mrs. Solace, you're welcome to Solace for the Hurting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for gracing our occasion today.
Thank you.
So we would like you to tell the audience, who is Mrs. Solace?
Okay, my name is Solace Adanna Onyebuchi Udeh. I work for Multi-Mesh Communication Limited. I'm a wife and a mother to 2 beautiful children. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. So you can see, looking at her, you will not tell where she's coming from, but by the time she's through with the story, you know that God has brought her into the place of beauty. So she's going to tell us more about God's faithfulness. So get ready, sit tight, and listen to God's faithfulness. So tell us, what is that story?
Okay, I want to appreciate the faithfulness of God over my life. I want to share a testimony concerning my marriage. My marriage will be 6 years this October, and I want to tell us how God brought us here. I didn't marry so early like I wanted to. I remember growing up. I always wanted to marry at 18 or at least 20. And I've always had this mindset that I want my children to grow with me. And I want at 30 or 40 years, I'm done having kids and we all will just grow together. But it didn't happen like that. I had series of good, bad, worst relationships and all of that until 2015. Prior to 2015, in 2014, I just told myself, I'm done having relationships. I don't want to do again. I'm just so done. Wow. I want to just wait on God until I get married. I don't want to go into any other relationship again. And I actually did mean it. I actually did mean it. When my last relationship went off, I didn't bother again. I just decided to wait on God. And then 2015, I was so all out after the fasting that we had. I was so all out waiting on God. And coincidentally, that 2015, I had 1 million suitors coming my way. Wow. And that was the very first time I had suitors. I usually don't get suitors. Instead, my younger sister usually gets suitors much more than myself. Wow. So I usually don't get suitors. But I remember that 2015, I had more than 7 suitors in the space of 3 months and counting. So when I finally, but all of them, I had them to pass through a check that I wrote for myself, and the Holy Spirit just kept telling me, no, don't go for this. This is not your husband, and all of that. Until one guy just came around like that, and coincidentally, we have been in the same church all these years, and according to him, he always thinks I'm married. In fact, he says he always sees me as someone that is married, but her husband lives abroad. So he doesn't just want to talk to me. But that day, he just walked up to me and then he spoke to me. And as soon as he was leaving, the Spirit of God told me, this is your husband. He hasn't even said anything marriage to me. And then I said, no, I really want to marry this one because I didn't just want to marry this one. The Spirit of God said, well, this is your... I said, no, I don't want to marry this one. He said, well, he told me once, he said, if I don't marry this man, that it will take me longer years for me to get another one that will get married to me. I said, wow. He said, except I'm willing to wait. I said, well, if it is your will, let your will be done. But that is not just the testimony. Immediately I agreed to marry this guy. I began to have series of challenges, and funny enough, I already told myself that I am not going to sleep with any other man until I get married. So, and I was also willing to keep that. So when I met this guy, when we finally agreed to marry, that was in May 2nd. That was when we agreed to, okay, let's keep this thing. We are going to date, and then we are going to get married in October. We agreed, okay, we're not going to, since because my mother-in-law keep telling us that this is something you're going to do forever, so don't rush it, just take your time. And then we made up our mind and said we're not going to do this until the wedding day proper. And then we signed into church, we followed up the wedding process and all of that. Shortly after we have written to church, I remember that early in the morning, my pastor called me and said that he wants the both of us to come to the office right away. And I'm like, what happened? He said we should come immediately after prayers in the morning. I said, okay. When we got into the church, pastor said, well, that he has checked, because I used to be AA. And then my husband used to think he's AS. So I said, okay, since I'm AA and he's AS, we can continue like that. And I had medical proof to prove that I am AA. So when we now got to the church, pastor said that my genotype is AS. I said, how come my genotype is now AS? But the good thing is that the devil came very late, because my husband's genotype now changed to AA. So he was not the one that is AA, and I'm not the one AS. They said, okay, you can marry. He said the pregnancy test, the HIV test result is negative, but that I'm pregnant. I said, pregnant? He said, yes, that your pregnancy result is showing positive. And I'm like, wow. And it's on paper, positive. I said, I can't remember the last time I already told myself that I'm not going to do any relationship again. That was even shortly after I met this guy. And if you're following my story, it was 2014, I told myself, and I'm meeting this guy in 2015. So even if I'm pregnant,
you should have grown since that time.
That means I've been pregnant since 2014 till now.
And you're not aware.
And I'm not aware.
Wow.
And this is a guy that he has not even touched me. He has not even seen anything. And how come I'm pregnant? And how come his pastor was even finding it out? I was so embarrassed. And then it's the policy of the church. So the guy was trying to tell the pastor that he has not had anything to do with me, which is true. And then pastor said, pastor said, okay, because I'm a committed member in church, and by the grace of God, I do a lot of work in church. So pastor said, okay, I'm going to give you the privilege. Go to other clinics and have a test. And then come back to us. Let's see whether it's our own that is fault. Brethren, I went to 3 different hospitals, and it was really positive. It was funny. It was really, really very funny. I was dumbfounded. I said, how can I be am I now Mary or something? Do I now want to give birth to Jesus Christ or something? So I called my mom. I was even very angry. I called my mom. I told my mom. In fact, I told my parents that they must tell me what they did with me, because how come for the first time in my life someone serious wants to come at mine? Because I had been meeting suitors, but no one has been serious. That's the truth. And this one is really very serious, because all the ones I've been meeting is either their mom didn't agree, their family did not agree. This one, the family is in agreement, everyone. And then this is coming up. And for the first time I decided to do it right. I didn't want to have my bed soiled. It's not like I was coming in as a virgin, but I just decided I'm not going to do this. And then it's beginning to happen like this. Oh, I thought, no, this can't be. So I had to travel back. And my parents held hands, they prayed and said, no, it can't be. In fact, my dad was saying no, that he didn't, because I was saying maybe you went to get me somewhere or something. Wow. So he said no, that nothing like that happened. So they prayed. But I also sincerely want to appreciate my fiancé, who is now my husband, because he wasn't perturbed. Even when they were asking him, do you want to father another baby, another person's child? He was saying, I know her, she's not pregnant. And then I'm like, are you okay? So I think the Spirit of God told us to go for scan. So when we went for scan, the scan said, well, that he's not seeing any sac, but if the pregnancy is in the early stages, that is the blood that is detecting it, that we have to wait for a while until it comes up. So he gave us 2 weeks, that after 2 weeks we should come back. So I went to church, I told pastor, I said, okay, they are saying 2 weeks. You can lock me up in a room, so it will not be like I went to do abortion or something. Lock me up in a room, let's stay for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, if it is still positive, then you can then take cancel the wedding, because the wedding was about being cancelled. So pastor said, well, that he trusts me, that I should go. But then I was also staying in pastor's house so that nothing will happen along the line. And we just kept believing God about it. I remember I was in the office one day, one woman of God came in and was asking me that God sent her here to ask me something. That's, why am I crying? I said, no, I'm not crying. So she asked me, and I told her. She asked me to come. She prayed for me and asked me to dance around the way I'm going to dance around. Because for me, the wedding was not going to hold anymore. Wow. That's just it. So 2 weeks after, in fact, I was dancing that dance in that altar, or on that altar, and I started flowing. And it wasn't time for me to see my period. I just started flowing. And I was like, wow. From that moment till I had my first baby, my pregnancy test remained negative. As in, the way it turned again to negative, it remained negative. Even when we had to go everywhere, they had to go and check whether I did evacuation or abortion or something. And the pregnancy test, in fact, at some point I said, maybe I will not even have a child. Maybe I don't even know what the devil is just planning. And then it remained negative. And as if that was not enough, we continue with our wedding plans.
I'm going to cut you there because we'll continue with the story. I hope we are following the story of our sister here. And this is for those of people watching us, believing God for life partners. And then you're passing through challenges. Maybe the family is not in agreement, or maybe they're in agreement, and then one issue or the other is cropping up. I just want you to put your faith in God, hearing the story of our sister here, that you will certainly be married. And those that are believing God for the fruit of the womb, that God will certainly visit you in this season of life. So we're going for a commercial break. We will still come back because I know this story is touching you. So we'll come back and then we'll continue with this story. So don't touch the dial because we are going to be back shortly.
Abuja to Port Harcourt.
Lagos to Bonny, you are just 2 air away.
Whatever the mission, whatever the operation, stay connected with 2-Air 2-Way walkie-talkie radio system for all covert operations in security, vigilante service, engineering, logistics, transportation, construction, mining, oil and gas, and many more. 2-Air radio system requires no repeater to operate, covers the 774 local government areas in Nigeria, no mast installations, GPS tracking enabled with dispatcher system to view all users with end-to-end encrypted and secured system, supports one-to-one or one-to-many radio, disable and stun kill stolen radio, raises alarm on danger zone, and many more.
Contact our head office located at Family Love 97.7 FM building, 34 Old Abba Road, Port Harcourt. For inquiries, please call or text 0803 203 4026 or 0803 203 8246. 2 Air, any distance, anywhere.
Next. Everybody stand up and see. We are matter what the eyes can see. From the east to the west to the north to the south. Entertainment for the whole family. Hey, next. We bring you drama. Next. And lifestyle. Next. We show you movies. And series. Next. Documentary. Next. Event. Next. And fashion and music. Next. AMNet, African Movie Net, entertainment for the whole family.
Welcome back to Solace for the Hotting. I'm still here with my sister, Success, Mrs. Success, who is sharing her testimony. We heard it, how God is faithful. When a suitor came, the one that is very serious, and then all of a sudden, the pregnancy test is showing positive when she's not pregnant. And what will it be? What's the meaning of this? It shows that the devil is at work to make sure that things don't work out in a man's life. But we're going to see how God tumbled the story. She said she decided to dance. The woman said, dance the way you want to dance on your wedding day. And then suddenly, the turnaround came. So you are sitting there looking at us. Maybe your own is just a dance away. Just glorify God with a dance. And then your miracle will open. So, child of God, still stay in there because you will hear more, because God is unraveling things to you. So don't get discouraged. It's time for you to carry that miracle. So I'll come back to you, Mrs. Success. So you continue from where you stopped.
Okay, thank you so much. And then thank you very much for this opportunity. So as I was telling you, we continued, the church gave us a platform and said, okay, continue with your wedding process. And then we continued with our wedding process, but things were honestly very difficult. It's as if anywhere my husband wants, or my then fiancé wants to put his hand, nothing will flow and all of that. So we continued. 1 month to the wedding, that was in September. He walked into a place where he builds, because he builds for people. And then suddenly a dog that was in a cage came out and beat him from head to toe.
Wow.
It was really very amazing. As in, I just knew that the devil was just out, that this wedding was not just going to work out or going to stand. And then when they called me and said they've rushed him to the hospital, that a giant dog beat him, and I knew about that place he was working. And this is not the first time he has worked there. That dog has always been on cage. So how come the dog left the cage and nobody knew, up to the point of jumping at him and biting him? And then he was hospitalized for a while until he got better. We had to go through all those process, and all of that. Shortly after that, we had to get better. We had to just try, but we just trusted God and say, you see, this wedding, it must hold, and it must hold the right way. We must do it right this time, because I just found out that devil doesn't want things to be done right. Devil prefers where things are done to glorify the devil. But if you're doing something for the name of the Lord to be glorified, the devil is not interested in it, and he has to fight it out. And then I think my mom told me that whatever you're doing and you're getting a lot of pressure and a lot of challenges, just know that that thing is going to really work out at the end. The devil has seen the glory at the latter end or the head. So he's trying to block it and make sure that this doesn't happen, because good things doesn't just come easily like that. I should just hold on to God and keep praying. And that was exactly what we did. And then that past went, we did like that. And then somehow God showed up. Everything we needed for our wedding, God miraculously provided. And on the 24th of October, we were gloriously married. And I think, when I remember Solace on the radio, and I said, it's going to be 6 years already.
Wow.
And shortly after that, God gave us our first child. Even prior, because I remember the day I told my husband, are you sure when it's not time to be pregnant, the pregnancy might be negative or something, And God gave us our first child, and God gave us another one. And God has been blessing us immensely since that time. So I really want to appreciate God, and I really want to talk to anyone out there that is believing God for anything like that, particularly when you want to marry the right way, when you want to do it right. And there are plenty things that are cropping up. They crop up here, they crop up here, they crop up here. Hang in there. God is going to make a way. God is interested in that business. That is why he keeps bringing up things up and down. Just hang on to God, and he will make a way. He will give you a total. Because I remember that time my slogan was always, it will end in praise. So whenever I'm passing through, I'll just look at it and say, you see this dance, I must complete that dance. It's going to end in praise. And I want to appreciate God, because step by step he took us there, and step by step he's taking us to a greater height.
Wow. Did you people hear this? Such wonderful testimony of what God has done. There was no money, God provided money. I hope you got that part. So you're planning for your wedding now, you're telling me, wow, there's no money for this wedding. Just hold on to God. God will provide the money. There's health challenge and everything, and you see attack all over. Just hold tightly to God, and you see God making a way where there seems to be no way. Hers wasn't that easy part, because the devil kept attacking them from one point to the other. But today is how many years now?
6 years.
6 years now. And she can look back and say, indeed, God is faithful. So I don't know you there, God has done something for you in the past, you've not remembered. Somebody remembered to say, God, I thank you. It's not easy. And you are there now. At this point, you're planning your wedding, or there's no suitor or whatever. You're just believing God for a life partner, and you're watching us. Just know that God will do you well. He will provide for you the best man, that best woman that is suitable for you. So believe God, and God will sort you out. He did it for our sister. He will certainly do it for you. So don't hang up your hope. Just believe that God will make a way. You're facing attack in the business. Your health is being attacked. Just hang and hope in God. And you see God sorting you out, child of God. So you've heard it today. I don't need to preach another sermon. Just know that God can do the impossible. So believe God for that life partner, because you'll be the next sitting beside me sharing your testimony of how God has sorted you out and established you. Thank you for watching Solace for the Hurting today. Thank you for being part of this program. So see you same time next week. You want to reach us, you want to talk to us, our addresses are on the screen, our email, phone numbers. So get in touch with us. And thank you, Africa Movie Net, for carrying Solace for the Hurting. And see you same time next week. I'm still your humble host, Okuchi Ekong, saying, have a great week.
Solace for the hurting, solace for the hurting.